And of course, I'm going to start with Aries. Now, Aries, this week is going to be really important because there is something that is just going to be quite significant for you that you are going to be focusing on, and that is at the same time, it's going to be a fantastic learning experience for you. But then again, at the same time, there is something really interesting that is just going to start unfolding in your life that is just going to become a very, very significant option, very, very powerful point of your life is about to start unfold within this week. But this is really important because this is just not something like that is just going to happen or manifest just out of the blue or anything like that, my gorgeous Aries. This is just going to be really significant for you, and it's just something that you have been focusing on for a really, really long time. And then also there is a really wonderful advice that you are going to actually get, and that advice is just going to be really be connected pretty much so to this particular situation. To make it a bit more clear for you, it is to do with you, it is to do with your own happiness, and it's to do with the things in your life that will kind of like holding you down. It is to do with the things in your life that were just not making you really happy, and it's to do with the things in your life that you, without you even realizing, were like kind of keeping you like a little prisoner within your own little non-solutions, within your own problems, within within your own things in life. So this is why this is just so important, because the bottom line is that you are going to be able to literally free yourself. You are going to be free like a little bird, and it is going to be a rather significant time because the whole new completion is going to happen here, and you will see exactly what I mean. And you are going to kind of end up with a couple of options, and both options are going to be really significant for you. But also there is going to be quite an important and significant journey that you're actually going to plan at around this time. Please, 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 when it comes to diet, please, 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 it is very important for you to avoid sugar, avoid sugar, avoid sugar, avoid sugar at all costs, because this is going to be, this week is just, you're going to be super sensitive when it comes to sugar. Okay, so please try to avoid sugar. Try to like have some kind of different alternative like a stevia, or which is a natural form of sugar that people have been taking for a really long time as well. But also on another hand, maybe honey instead of sugar. It all depends. Just try to stay away from the sugar this week, like pretty much so all the time, but this week especially, very sensitive area. Okay. On another hand, what else I was going to say, that for those of you that are in relationship, this is going to be a pretty difficult week. For those of you in relationship, it's the best just to try to stay away from each other. No, not to stay away from each other, but it's just a lot of nervousness is going to be going on this week. There is a lot going to be going on, lots of things you're going to be focusing on. Your partner is going to be focusing on lots of things. It is going to be like a lot to do with the personal life that is going to be happening. But on another hand, it's a lot going to be happening, when it comes to career, when it if your partner is working, when it comes to work, when it comes to finances. There is a lot going to be happening this week, and I can see that the area, this area is going to be rather sensitive. So just try to maybe focus on different things, because even if you do clash, when you do clash this week, then you will know that it is just kind of that type of energy around, which is not going to last forever. Okay. On another hand, for those of you that are single, it is all going to be about self-illumination. It is all about about self-discovery. It is all about you realizing something really important, and this is just going to be so significant for those of you that are single, ready to mingle or not ready to mingle. Not ready to mingle. I'm telling you, this is almost going to be a very special time, especially when it comes to your own, as I say, self-illumination. There is something very significant going to happen, and that is going to, this particular thing that is going to happen is going to be connected to other people. It's going to be connected to other situations, which is just going to be like some kind of idea that you're going to get out of it first, and then later it's going to become realization, and then later it is just going to kind of become a very important part of whom you're going to kind of like next. I'm not saying that you just going to kind of talk to yourself and just decide to like a completely different person, but this is going to be a very important situation that is going to happen, and something is going to adjust, and you will see, and this is going to be really, really good indeed. Now, the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, of course, is going to be Taurus. Now, this is for Taurus. Now, Taurus, it is a very important time. This is going to be the time when you're going to be in touch with lots of people. This is going to be the time when lots of people that are very important in your life is going to be playing an important role. This is the time of connection and the time of reconnection indeed. But also there is a very big abandonment going to come this week. There is going to be a realization that that something will need to go and something will need to change. And this abandonment that will need to go, it's a lot to do with a certain reflection that you have when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your financial situation and things like that. There's something really important is going to happen here, and this in itself is going to be have a really enlightening effect on you. And what is going to happen here when I say something important, you're just going to start feeling very, very drawn towards the particular decision, towards the particular new beginning in your life. And that particular new beginning in your life is going to be influenced by other people, and you're going to find the people that are really mean to you so much are going to in your life are going to be pushing you and pushing you and pushing you to go towards that slightly different stage, slightly different direction. But this is just going to be so important to you, because the people who mean to you the most are going to be giving you all sorts of indications. Just go for it, go for it, go for it. Sometimes in this life we just need a little bit of support from other people when something comes to us, certain idea or certain realization. Sometimes we just need other people who means to us a lot, and vice versa in our life, to actually kind of give us a sign or let us know if we're on the right direction and things like that. You see, sometimes our family are our best friends, are our best teachers, okay? And now this is going to be good, because this is going to really have a really massive impact on you and on your life, and this is going to become in itself a really important beginning. As I said, enlightening effect is going to have on you and the people around you, and this is also going to become like a really new motivation for you. It is just a little thing that you're going to start talking about. It's just a new direction that is just going to become available, but it's really good. It's to do with you, it's to do with your happiness, it's to do with your new direction, and it's to do with you and how incredibly good year 2019 it's actually going to be for you, Tauruses. And I cannot stress enough how important this is going to be. This time is going to be ridiculously important, because it's all about this new realization, and this new realization is just going to literally change your life, because it's a lot to do with the time when you were feeling like really unhappy, and it was a lot to do with the time when you just thought that like your hands are tied and that you can't do anything. And now this is just about to give you the whole new wings, and this is just going to be absolutely incredible. When it comes to those of you that are in relationship, Taurus, is now this week is going to be really strange, a little bit strange, because your partner is just going to be going through a rather difficult time. There's a lot of pressure around, lots of pressure at the moment that your partner is going through, and it's, you know, it is this combination of spirituality that is just going to be very significant at around this time. It is combination of like what is going on in combination of like a really busy environment, busy time emotionally and work-wise. This is going to be really busy time indeed. So there is going to be a very a touchy, anxious. Your partner is going to be just a little bit anxious this week, and just to let you know. But on another hand, it's going to be really good, because at the same time there is going to be a really good realization when you're going to realize that there's some kind of problem is coming to an end. And also you and your partner is going to have a very important time this week, because by the time this week finishes, and I remember this week is from the 24th until the 30th of December, by the time this week finishes, there is some new direction that is going to become available to both of you, and that new direction that is going to become available to both of you is completely connected to your home situation and the big change. You will both want to make a big change after this week. Okay, so now for those of you that are actually single and you know, maybe ready to mingle, you know, this is not a great time to actually find someone and be with someone, maybe to have some fun, blah, blah, blah. That's absolutely fine. But there is somebody that I need you to stay away from, need to really be careful about. I mean, if you know what are you doing and you're happy, you know, having a little bit of fun, that's entirely up to you. Whatever you think that a little bit of fun means, a little bit of fun is. But I'm just telling you, there is somebody very powerful in one way, but somebody that is very powerful in one way when it comes to their own prosperity, somebody who's very financially sorted, somebody who's very financially powerful is going to come towards you. But I need you to be really careful, because this is not going to be the person that you should take really seriously. Maybe to have a little bit of fun, yes, but to take too seriously, I'm not too sure. This is a little bit of a devil here that you have, and I'm just kind of trying to warn you and let you know. Also try to protect yourself, you know, wear some kind of like a black tourmaline, hematite, like a moldavite and things like that, just to protect yourself in the case this person when this person arises around you, but it's most certainly not a good person. Okay, now the next sign is actually going to be Gemini. Oh, Gemini, now this is a really bombastic week as well for you, because it's just amazing how inspiring this week is going to be for nearly all of the signs are actually going through a very important stage when it comes to the actual inspiration. But this is just so important because we are almost at the end of the actual year 2018. Now we're almost at the end of the December, and this is just all now like kind of like just getting itself, like getting its own little pathways now, and it's just having a slight redirection, which is just the perfect time. And this is why lots of signs are actually going to end up with a whole new inspiration by the end of the December 2018. Inspirational time indeed. So when it comes to you, my gorgeous Gemini, now basically it is the potential. This is what's going to happen. You're going to realize your own potential, and this is just going to make you feel ooh la la. And this is so good because it's about your own potential, and it's all about that realization. What makes you happy? What do you want to do next? What do you do normally that makes you happy? You know, what can you reflect on? You know, and it's all about that. It's all about self-esteem. It's all about confidence, and it's all about power, and it's all about realizing something really big and powerful about yourself. This is just so good, Gemini. And this is all about you realizing your own potential, and that in itself is just going to become a fantastic inspiration for you. Expect a wonderful week. Expect a beautiful week. Expect a week when you can kind of relax yourself. You're going to feel really good karmically. There are a few things that are going to happen to you, and they wouldn't happen to you in such a beautiful way if you haven't been beautiful yourself. It wouldn't happen to you if you haven't been nice to other people, or if you haven't done quite a few nice karmic situations in the last 7 or 8 months together. And this is now just all about to come back to you. It's a payback time when you're going to start getting things back, and this is amazing. Financial situation realization about some kind of financial situation that is actually going to be better than what you actually thought. There is going to be a little bit of a heartbreak situation because there is a certain situation it's going to arise through somebody else. It doesn't have to be necessarily lover, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, whatever, but it could be like an emotional heartbreak. Maybe you're just going to kind of have like a little bit of a bitter experience because somebody's just going to hurt you a little bit, but it doesn't have to be necessarily your partner. Please, I mean, I don't mean to be all negative and things like that, but there is a little bit of a heartbreak here, and there is a number 3 that is going to be rather significant. And also that little bit of a heartbreak, it's also going to make you kind of like have a very strong connection with your own angels and the spirit guides also, which is going to happen in the middle of the night. You're going to wake up, there is going to be a moment that there's something really significant going to come towards you, and some kind of realization, and that realization wouldn't happen if you didn't go through this situation. That realization wouldn't happen if you didn't have a little bit of a heartbreak. The situation wouldn't happen if you didn't have a little bit of a low moment, because this low moment will actually bring you very, very close to your own spirit guides and to your own angels, and you're going to realize something really important. This is going to be a great week for you. Okay, and for those of you that are actually in relationship, this is fantastic, seriously, because your partner is actually going to feel very close to you. You're going to feel very close to your partner. You're going to have lots of ba-ba-boom time this week. Okay, and also what else I was going to say is that there is a really the bottom line is that your partner is going to have a really good news. It's about proposal, it's about advancement, it's about a request, and it's about a challenge. But the bottom line is this is going to be an invitation to an opportunity that is just going to be absolutely mind-blowing for both of you and your partner indeed. This is going to have a wonderful reflection on both of you and on the people around you, on the family members and things like that, people who mean to you the most and things like that. Wonderful. On another hand, there is going to be, for those of you that are single, you know, there is some new connection gonna come through. New connection is gonna come forward. Some brand new person is gonna come through. Some brand new person is gonna come forward. So I wouldn't worry about that little bit of heartbreak situation that I mentioned before, because there is some really important connection that is going to start manifesting for you this week. You're just not going to be able to resist this person. Okay, so there is something very, very interesting going to happen, and it's going to be start from a very harmonious energy in between you and somebody else. Okay, so someone very interesting is about to start manifesting this week, Gemini. Now the next sign I'm going to be talking about, it's actually going to be Cancer. Now Cancerians, my babies, you're gonna have to realize it's all about a little sacrifice. You're gonna have to sometimes keep certain things to yourself. Sometimes sometimes you just have to, as I said, keep certain things to yourself and just be smart and try to rise above the situation. Somebody's gonna is gonna try to irritate you a little bit this week, but then again, just remember that, just step away from the situation. A little bit of an argument that I'm seeing that you're going to have with somebody who is very much so close to you, somebody who's surrounded by you. But then again, that in itself is just going to kind of make you think about a certain stage and a certain element of your life, and maybe it will make you reevaluate the way you deal with things and the way you deal with people normally. It's very important to be open with people. Okay, just if there are problems or anything like that, just say it, rather than keep it in, which it just becomes a huge amount of negative energy, and it's not good for anyone. No, on another hand, there is going to be a very interesting suspension and sacrifice that you are going to have, and that sacrifice that you are going to have, it's going to involve you, and it's going to involve other people around, and this is going to be really important, because this is going to be a very good starting point as well for your own practicality and security. Okay, and there is a really significant competition that you are going to have this week. This competition is going to be very significant, and it's also going to be not only important for you, but it's also going to be important for other people. This can be any type of competition indeed. And also on another hand, just do your best, do give 100% with whatever you do, wherever you go, whatever you do, literally, because this is going to be karmically very important time, and you may be the part of the competition that you're not even aware of. However, you're going to do really, 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 really great indeed. Try to drink lots of water this week. This is just so important for you Cancerians, my babies as well. Try to drink lots of water. Okay, whatever you drink lots of water with it. It is just something that is significantly going to be very powerful for you as well, in order to get rid of the certain toxins that you are going to have in your body this week. And these toxins are going to be the best get rid of if you drink lots of pure water. Okay, on another hand, what else I was going to say, Cancerians, now when it comes to the actual those of you that are in relationship, ooh la la, now it is just some kind of commitment that your partner is going to have that is going to be mind-blowing. It is going to be incredible how committed your partner is going to be to certain things in your life that involves you, and you're going to be on top of the world because of that. You're going to like it, you're going to feel really good, you're going to feel really powerful about yourself and things like that. But on another hand, you're also going to basically have a great time, because it is just going to have a beautiful a positive effect on both of you, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. This is going to have a beautiful positive effect on both of you, and also it is just going to be a new realization that you are going to have about your partner, and this is brilliant. Okay, so a great reflection, and you're going to realize how much your partner loves you, and that is just going to be incredible for you. But for both of you, this is going to be really, really good week. And for those of you Cancerians that are actually single, I would just stay away from that. There is also going to be somebody that is going to come through this week, somebody that is going to be around you, but it's just going to be very short. It's going to be very short realization that you are going to quickly have, but this particular realization that you are going to have, it is just going to set you free. It almost looks like you're still kind of focusing on someone that you shouldn't, and you have a very strong energy, my beautiful Cancerians. If you are focusing on someone, you have a very deep thoughts, deep energy, strong energy, and powerful energy, so you don't allow other people to come through. So this is why it looks like to me the number 2 is going to be very important when it comes to this particular situation, but also it's more about you actually just kind of realizing that that it's time to move on from somebody else. And if you don't, that person is not going to come, the new person is not going to come through through, not going to come forward. Okay, so now the next sign is actually going to be Leo. Now, what a magnificent week as well. It is going to be the week when you're just going to feel like on top of the world when it comes to like your health. It's a great week for health indeed. You're going to feel so much better. It is an important week for those of you that have been suffering from a long ailments, from long illnesses, and especially for those of you that you haven't seen any improvements or anything like that. This is just so important week indeed, because it is just going to have a really nice turnaround, and that in itself is going to put a really big smile on your face. It's going to make you feel really optimistic. It's going to make you feel really happy about yourself, and most importantly, it is going to be the step in the right direction when it comes to your health, and you're going to like it. On another hand, you're going to feel like a really energetic and like a ready for anything, you know, like ready for like a new you know, adventure. It is going to be the week of like you being in touch with people who you haven't seen in a really long time, and you being in touch with people who you really enjoy, you know, being in touch with and things like that. So it's going to be social. It's going to be a really important week indeed. But on another hand, you're going to feel like a very mischievous, and this is really good. You're going to feel a very adventurous, and you will want to book as well some kind of trip or some kind of journey away, and you will be focusing a lot on like taking care of yourself when it comes to that part of your life. And this is exactly what you should do. Take some time out, take some break, and just take, you know, have a little break, because this is absolutely the perfect time to do it indeed. You are also going to have a challenge. You know, there is a certain challenge that is going to arise, and you are going to also need like a little bit of advice. Your intuition is going to be very strong, but an advice from a certain person is going to be even more powerful. It's going to be even more significant, but it's only going to confirm what your intuition have said to you in the first place. Okay, it's a challenge that is going to be significant, and it's also going to be show and bring your own strength. You're going to like it, because there is something really brilliant going to come out of it after that point, and the whole new control over situation you're going to have. And that control over the situation that you are going to have, my beautiful Leos, it's going to become very, very powerful and very significant this part of your life, okay, in August and September 2019. So this is just the beginning. It's the control over the situation that is going to bring you completely new things into your life, but it's a very much so connected to the certain journey, connected to the certain trip and things like that. Okay, what else I was going to say, my beautiful Leos, when it comes to the actual diet, you really you have to kind of like control how many sweets and how many things you actually take this week. Please control how many sweets you take. Try to, if you are eating sweets, you know, and desserts and things like that, it is going to be a very sensitive area in so many different ways when it comes to the stomach, when it comes to your digestion. So try to stay away from sweets as much as you can. Maybe try to have like a fruit and things like that instead. This is very significant, because this is going to be quite sensitive area. Now, when it comes to those of you that are actually in relationship, this is brilliant week for the relationship, because now the whole new confidence is going to come through, which means that maybe there were certain things throughout the year that you weren't too sure about your partner, or you weren't too certain about your partner. You weren't too sure if you're on the right direction when it comes to your partner. And now it's basically, this is going to change, because now the realization that the certain things that you were worrying about basically are going to be proven wrong, and you will see that it was fine. You were just maybe a little bit worried, you were maybe a little bit paranoid, but it is just going to be absolutely fine. So this realization is going to be mind-blowing, because you will be able to relax, so it's good. Okay, on another hand, for those of you that are actually single, it is somebody at around the time when you're actually focusing on a certain trip or focusing on a certain journey, at around the time when you're thinking about a certain trip and thinking about certain journey, there is something going to happen, and there is someone gonna kind of start manifesting in your life here, and that particular person has got something very interesting about them, very strange about them, and they're also connected to like some kind of trip and some kind of journey, or it could be like some kind of person from abroad and things like that, from where you are, and somebody who's like a very much different to you. So that person is just going to kind of become a very important part of your life later on, but this is only going to be the start of the manifestation. Okay, so now the next sign is actually going to be the next sign is going to be Virgo. Now Virgo, this is also going to be a really powerful, a very powerful week now, my babies, when it comes to your healing, your personal healing. This is the week of healing, week of power, week of reconnection, week of realization, week of closeness, week of love, week of the new beginning, but the most importantly, week of the big completion, huge completion, massive completion. There is a one part of your journey about to come to an end, and the another part of the journey, spiritual journey, it's about to start to manifest by the end of the 30th of December, and this is just going to be absolutely life-changing for you Virgos. I cannot stress enough, and this is also, you're gonna start feeling very drawn towards the new learning experience, because there is so much going to be happening this week. There's so much going to be going on. There's certain things are going to be shaped up a little bit, certain situations you will not want to deal with, certain people you will not necessarily want to see, certain people you will not necessarily want to reconnect with, but all this is just going to come like a big mama, it's fantastic bomb into your life, and this is going to be brilliant spiritual bomb, and that spiritual bomb is going to give you the most powerful insight into the certain areas of your life, especially to what you have done, what have you been focusing on so far, and the most importantly, the outcome of all of this is going to be a wonderful new desire to actually be very close and to feel very close to the certain part of your life, and it's going to be connected to the new learning experience, new direction, new learning experience, and the ability to learn quickly. Very, very significant, because there's the whole new option going to become available here, and that exactly is going to make you feel like this is your own victory and mental clarity, and it's going to help you so much. Although there is the problem, there is the situation that you're still going to be kind of focusing on your personal life, and it is just something that you're kind of unhappy with around a certain person or certain people around you, and that is just going to kind of come back, and it's just going to require from you to edit certain things and to make certain redirections here and certain adjustments here into your life, because there is still something or someone that is kind of holding you down and is kind of preventing you from moving on and just enjoying your life and being really, really happy. The realization is going to become very sharp and very crystal clear, but it is going to be all about one step at a time. Okay, and also, my goodness, what a week, Virgo. Also, it's the recognition of your own abilities, that is just going to take you places, that it's going to take you really far. It's going to make you realize, you can do so much. You're amazing. You're very powerful. You've got so many resources, much more than you would even want to have. And this is just going to be the time of the actual recognition, and that is just going to become your own, new starting point, indeed. Now, when it comes to the actual health, my beautiful babies, when it comes to the actual health this week, you're just gonna have to also just try to stick to water. Try to drink as much water as you can. Try to also avoid sugar. This is going to be for you as well. Try to avoid sugar as much as you can, as much as you possibly can, because this is also going to be a very, very sensitive area when it comes to you kind of taking sugar and sweets and things like that. Try to maybe have fruit. It's just so important. I can't stress enough. And also, there will be a few times when you're gonna kind of find yourself in a quite stroppy situations, but it's just going to be this week, and it's only because you're going to be surrounded by quite a few people, and there's few things that are going to happen that are just going to be kind of out of ordinary, which is on another hand just going to make you react in a slightly different way, and then on another hand that is going to take a certain energy from you, but that's just absolutely fine. What else I was going to say, that now Virgos, my babies, basically when it comes to you and your partners, when it comes to relationships, now this is also not going to be the best time for relationships, because it is just going to be not that it's not going to be the best time for the relationships, but I can see that in a certain way both of you are going to be under the certain stress this week, but especially when it comes to you, like communicating with each other, or you like functioning with each other. Now this is all going to be about just you kind of like maybe just making sure that you don't upset each other also like too much this week, because you're both going to be under a certain stress. There are going to be like a certain family members, or maybe like a certain people around that, you know, and then it is just going to kind of make you both kind of a little bit stroppy with each other. So just to prepare you. Okay, now when it comes to those of you that are actually single, this is not going to be the time when you're going to find somebody, because this is going to be the time when you are going to be mixing with people a lot, when you are going to kind of be spending time with your friends and family and things like that, you know, like, or if you're not spending time with them, you will be in touch with them. They will be the part of your mind indeed, but it is just also going to be like a somebody who you are kind of, somebody who is still going to kind of be part of your mind, somebody who was part of your life, somebody who just made you feel a little bit negative, somebody who used to be part of your life. For some reason that person is just going to bounce back into your life, and it's just going to become part of your mind, part of your memory, because there is also going to be a very important realization that you are going to have why this relationship didn't work in the first place, and why this is not going to happen. So but this is just going to be really important for you, because this is also going to be the time when you're going to let yourself go and let this person go. Okay, and now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be Libra, of course. Now Libra, when it comes to a certain person in your life, there is a little bit of a wishful thinking going to happen. Wishful thinking in such a way when you're going to be a little bit disappointed. You wanted maybe perhaps this person, you want to have a certain relationship with this person, but it's just going to be like no way. And also it's not only about you realizing about somebody who's not maybe the right person for you this week when it comes to love, and it's going to be very significant for those of you who are obviously single, but also it is just going to be about the certain choice that wasn't the right choice for you, the certain realization that it wasn't the right choice for you, but also something else is going to be offered to you, and this is nothing to do with emotions, this is nothing to do with love, and it's going to seem like a little bit strange offer, and I would just kind of stay away from it. Anything that is offered to you that is a little bit weird, anything that is offered to you that it feels a little bit bizarre this week, just try to kind of stay away from, because there is something that is going to be a little bit tricky, and something that is going to be like a little bit deceptive. So I would like you to avoid this deceptive situation, okay? And a bit wishful thinking also comes true, because it's just like a kind of, it's gonna be like too good to be true, and that's exactly what the case is. Just be very, very careful. Don't make some kind of big dealings this week. Don't do some kind of negotiations this week. It is not going to be the right time at all. And also just keep a very certain things to yourself. Don't start any justice processes or anything like that. If you can just avoid this week and try to some other week, then it would be perfect. But this is why, just to try to avoid that person and the negative deceptive situation. On another hand, there is the whole new choice going to become available for you by the 30th of December 2019, and that choice is going to have direct impact on you, and direct impact on the way you view your finances, and the direct impact the way you view career. Something that's going to make itself known, and it's going to become very attractive to you, much more attractive in the current stage of your life when it comes to that particular situation, which is a lot to do with the money, career, finances. The new option is going to become available, which is going to needed some kind of rather nice and big readjustment for you. But if you want to get where you want to get in your life, you're going to really need to do this. If you want to go as far as you want to go in your life, you're really going to need to go for it and do this. And this will require a big change, and a big change that comes with lots of uncertainty, because you will not too sure how your life will develop after this moment, after this point onward. It is going to be also very significant time when it comes to your own possession. This is going to be very powerful time and very significant time when it comes to your own possession, and especially when it comes to you worrying about a certain stage in your life. Now, okay, now going to concentrating on those of you that are in relationship. Now, this is going to be a brilliant week for those of you that are in relationship. I'm so happy and I'm so glad and I'm so excited for you indeed, because it is all about satisfaction. It is all about accomplishment. It is all about the understanding between you and this person. person. It is all about your own love in between each other. It is all about this wonderful energy. This is just such a beautiful week for those of you that are in a relationship. I can't even explain enough. And I think that something really big is going to happen. Something really big, Libras, okay? And it's to do with your relationship. When I say really big, something big is going to happen that is just going to have an impact, an influence on your relationship, where you will want to take your relationship on the whole new level, and you will see exactly what I mean. This is a beautiful closeness that I'm actually seeing here. Okay, and another thing that I was going to say, for those of you that are single, you see, it's all about this realization that you are going to have, but also it is all about the realization that you are going to have, but there is a new learning experience going to start happening here, start unfolding here, start manifesting here. That's that new learning experience that is going to start manifesting, that you will want to you will feel very drawn towards. Okay, there is somebody that is going to be part of that is just going to become a very important part of your life later on, but this is just the beginning. So there is someone very, very interesting about to walk into your life. Okay, so now the next sign is going to be Scorpio, of course, Scorpio. Now, you will just like basically feel a little bit silly this week, but see, when I say you're going to feel silly in a really, really great way, like when I say you will feel silly, you will actually want to do something silly. You will want to do something unusual, and this is going to involve you, but it's also going to involve people in your life. There is also going to be a reconnection, that is just reconnections this week that are going to be very important to you, because there is just something going to be presented to you. There is something going to become available to you. There is a huge, massive realization that you are going to have about your life. I can't explain how important this week for you, Scorpio, is going to be, because this realization is going to be like the huge, massive starting point about yourself. You're going to realize that some certain part of your life that was just dragging for a really long time, and it was literally preventing you to move on with certain problems, from the certain negativities that were kind of preventing you to be happy, and preventing you to be yourself, and preventing you to enjoy yourself and enjoy your life, and preventing you to reach your full potential. This is going to be huge. It is just going to make you realize something that you can actually do, that you can go for, and it's going to be huge. It's going to be really big, and it's going to be really important part of your life that is just going to become massive later on, and it's to do with your own life, it's to do with your enterprise, it's to do with your own direction. This is going to be huge. And on another hand, and it's an illusion, that a certain illusion is going to come through and become very significant at the same time. As more significant and illusional certain part of your life will become, then the most strong and powerful this new direction, it's actually going to become revealed and manifested for you. It's going to be amazing. So that illusional part of your life is just going to be, at the same time, it's just going to be a beautiful door. Scorpio, by the time you get to the 30th of December 2018, by the time you get to the end of that month, you will see that there is a whole new door. It's going to become available for you. You are going again from one side of the spiritual door. You're going to walk through the door, and by the time we are on the 31st, by the time we are in a new month, then you will actually see how powerful this is actually going to be. Now, what else I was going to say, it's basically now, Scorpio, another thing that I was going to say is just that it's the authority. There is a great news from somebody, from an authority that you are going to have, that you are going to get. Now, this news from somebody in the authority that you are going to get is going to be really good, and it's going to make you feel really good about yourself. It's going to have a really straight impact on your confidence. It's going to boost your self-esteem. It's going to boost your confidence. And it's just all going to be about you being really good, new direction, efficient, and things like that. Absolutely brilliant. When it comes to your actual health, just try to take care of yourself. Drink some kind of chamomile tea. Chamomile tea is just going to be so significant for you to drink this week, because the chamomile tea is actually going to help you to calm yourself and calm your stomach. Your stomach is going to be a little bit sensitive this week again, and chamomile is going to have an amazing effect on you. Okay, for those of you that are actually in relationship now, Scorpio, my babies, for those of you that are actually in relationship, there is a certain part of your life when you both were the happiest, when you both like met for the first time. Something is going to come through, certain part of your life from the past, from a long time ago, when you started to go out with each other, and there is a certain reflection that you're both going to start feeling very drawn towards, and that particular reflection that you're going to feel yourself drawn towards is actually going to bring you very powerful reflection, and that reflection is just going to bring you an insight to both of you, to you and your current situation. This in itself is going to be absolutely life-changing indeed. And for those of you that are single, it's just really amazing, because especially this time is going to be incredible. This time is going to be brilliant. This is going to be the time of readjustment and adjustment as well, and of a beautiful influence. But there is someone especially that you're going to meet this week that is going to have a really wonderful impact and influence on you, and this is going to be amazing. At around the same time, there is your omen that you're going to have, omen that you're going to receive, omen that is going to be really powerful. Your own sign, your own sign, your own sign. It's going to be weird, it's going to be bizarre, it's going to be strange sign that you're going to receive this week. At around the time when you receive your strange sign, when everything is going to feel a little bit strange, like a little bit different, like a different dimension, this is the time when there is somebody also going to be appearing in your life, somebody who's going to appear in your life, and it's going to have a great influence on you. It's going to make you feel really, really good. This person is also going to become very significant to you, but it's just going to, this person is going to manifest at around a rather weird time, but you will see what I mean. Just wait for an unusual situation. Okay, so the next sign is actually going to be Sagittarius. Now Sagittarius, this is like incredible, to be quite honest with you, because it's like a kind of like all about you finding yourself in a really strange spot this week. And the strange spot, when I say, is that you're going to be surrounded by a couple of people that you didn't think that you would be surrounded by or surrounded with, and also something is just not going to kind of go towards the plan, but it's going to be quite good actually, because what this will not go towards the plan, it first is going to make you feel like a little bit nervous, but then on another hand at the same time it's just going to become like your own fantastic new direction and an adventure. It's brilliant because it is going to require from you to actually deal with the person who's going to try to control you. So there is somebody really horrible that is going to try to control you this week, and I just need you to be a little bit careful. I'm telling you, try to step away from the situation, try to rise above the situation, try to not to get drawn into this, because I don't like this person who will try to control you this week. So you need to be a little bit careful. Just like I'm just gonna like kind of tell you to try to, as I said, to try to rise above the situation instead of getting in touch with this person and just make things even worse. Try to like kind of not pick up this low vibration energy, but however you are actually going to deal with this really beautifully. You're actually going to deal with this very efficiently, and you're actually going to be really pleased with yourself. So this person that is going to try to control you, you're actually going to come up with a solution. This is going to be the tipping point, and this is going to be your own turning point. Indeed, there is going to be a really big change that you are going to have at home. Now, this big change that you're going to have at home, it's actually going to be good, very good and very positive, and it's just going to have a very beautiful and creative effect on you. So there's a certain creativity that you are going to feel, but this is also going to be a very strong connection that I'm seeing. You will be feeling very strong connection to your home environment and things like that. And what else I was going to say, when it comes to those of you that are actually in relationship, it's just, it's beautiful. You will be very happy with your partner this week. Your partner is going to do something that is just going to surprise you. Your partner is going to make you feel really good. It is going to be rather wonderful surprise, emotionally and mentally. This is going to be a fantastic week for both of you. The week when you will grow, the week when you will, deal with a certain problem. This is going to be the week of enlightenment. enlightenment. I can't even express in us how much this is going to be an important week to you. And it's going to start with the fact when your partner is going to do something to you, something for you, and you're going to be like, oh, how nice. And also for those of you that are single, I mean, come on, there is, you very shortly at around this time, there is a certain important negotiation going to happen. Negotiation could be really tiny, negotiation could be massive, it doesn't matter. I say an important negotiation because at around the same time there is also going to be somebody that is going to be the part of scenario that is just going to become available for you, available to you. To you this is going to seem like a really great, to you this is going to seem like a fantastic success, but there is also going to be a certain part of it that you're not going to be too sure about, and you really have to listen to yourself. You really have to listen to your intuition. You really have to connect to yourself and to your intuition and see why there's something may not be wrong when it comes to that particular person. There's a really great lesson that you're going to have there, my beautiful Sagittarius. Now, the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, is actually going to be Capricorn. Now, Capricorn, I like this because there is it is an honor. You're gonna feel a great honor, and it's all about you feeling really good with yourself. It's all about you feeling really great honor. It's a lot about your own personal achievement, and somebody's also going to do something to you in your life very close to you that is just going to make you feel so good, because you will realize their love towards you. You will realize their feelings towards you. They will take care of you in many different ways by doing these things, or by you realizing this, that this person is just somebody who you mean so much to, and that is going to be brilliant because it's just going to make you feel really good. And also you will feel like you want to take care of someone this week. You will want to kind of focus on relationships a lot. You will focus on the family members a lot, you see. But also I was going to say that it is this great honor that you are going to have. It is also going to be the new starting point for you, because there is something going to become your boss, manager, somebody's going to tell you that you did really well, or you're just going to realize this. But this is going to be amazing, because this is exactly what you needed, because some new option is going to become available for you indeed. New option, my babies, and that option is just going to involve you dealing with things you haven't dealt before, and dealing with things that are really strange and different, and things that you need to learn about. You see, this is the change of energies that I'm talking about. If you only go like about 6 or 7 or 8 months back, you would be like, absolutely no chance. But now the things are unfolding and unfolding and unfolding and unfolding. And now this is why this is going to be such an important situation, because you're going to have this power, strength and confidence and va-va-boom. So you're going to take this brand new situation on, and you're just going to feel excited about it. It's just all about this readjustment and looking at the picture from a slightly different angle. So there's a whole new beginning coming through, and it's connected to the financial situation, money, finances, and things like that, and it's brilliant. But when it comes to the actual financial situation, there is a very important realization that you're going to have, and you're also going to find yourself in a situation to reward yourself and other people using finances and financial situation. Okay, great week for the professional life, great week for the self-esteem, great week for confidence. You're going to be bursting with positivity here, and that's absolutely brilliant. What I was going to say is also try to drink juices and smoothies in the morning. This is just so important. Try to drink juices and smoothies every morning if you possibly can. Try to stick to organic, maybe. But the perfect juice for you would also be oranges, organic oranges, if you can possibly have grapefruit and a little bit of lemon or a little bit of lime, like a very first thing in the morning. This is just going to be so good for you, because you are going to have a certain toxin that you're going to need to get rid of. Now, when it comes to the actual couples, this is a brilliant time, because the new plan your partner is going to have, a new wish your partner is going to have, a new idea your partner is going to have, and that is just going to be something that you're going to absolutely adore. That is just going to be something that you're going to absolutely love indeed. So that new idea is just going to become something really big later on. Okay, on another hand, when it comes to those of you that that are single, you are about to kind of start feeling drawn yourself to some kind of like a spiritual person, but it is not about you liking this spiritual person. It is not about you wanting to be with this spiritual person in that way, but that spiritual person is just going to play a very important role, because you're going to realize something, some kind of common sense that you're going to get through this person, realize through this person. It is not so much about the advice that you're going to get, like direct advice, but it's about you realizing something, some really important stage in your life is slowly coming to an end and that you need to move on. This is going to be just you realizing things, you getting things in your own way by talking to somebody else who you see like very importantly, somebody who's like really wise, somebody who's really clever, somebody who's got a really perfect work-life balance type of thing, somebody who's amazingly wise when it comes to their spirituality, but also amazingly wise when it comes to making really big decisions in their life. So there is a very important realization that you are going to have about yourself and your love life through this person. Okay, what the next sign is actually going to be Aquarius. Now, my goodness, now Aquarius, this is actually going to be a really good week. This is going to be a fantastic week for you, my babies, because it's all about you enjoying yourself, all about you being with people in your life who means to you the most. There is something very important happening with somebody very important in your life, and this is why this time it's actually going to be so significant because of that. Okay, so there is something very important happening with somebody very important in your life, like very important, I mean very important. And this is why this is going to be the time of connection, the time of reconnection, the time of love, the time of realization, the time of discovery, the time of a self-discovery, all in this one little week. This is just going to be so significant when it comes to you, Aquarius, my goodness. And it's all about all about equality, having a great time, beauty, freedom of movement with each other, feeling really good and things like that, having right people around you, and also realizing something really important, that what you were worrying about so far, it is just going to start making sense. You know, you want to move on, you want to be happy, you want to do certain things. Don't block yourself by, no, I can't do this, I can't do that. There's a very important realization that you are going to have in order to get one of the most important stages of your life, Aquarius. And this important stage is just going to start right now, this week, when you're going to realize something very important through the other person in your life who is very important to you, what you want to do next. It is going to be a clear picture about that, but also about your own resources. You've got everything you need in order to get to the very important stage of your life, Aquarius, and this is going to be huge, and this is just the beginning. Also, there is a big burden that you're going to have to deal with this week. There is someone that you will not want to deal with necessarily, but you're going to have to, you know, and it's just one of those things like, oh God, you're gonna have to, you know, we need to deal with sometimes with people who we don't want to, and we come across with the people who we don't want to come across, but this is life, you know. It's just a fact of life, you know. You need to deal with people and with the situations that you know you don't want to deal with necessarily, but this is a lot down to our own experience, our spiritual journey, our past life, and our karma. You know, it all depends. The life is very complex indeed. So there's a burden that you're still gonna have to deal with, but that burden is gonna be really important, because it's not, if you don't deal with this burden, you're not going to be able to kind of go towards your own joy and family. There is going to be a very joyful family moment. This is a really great time. This is a really powerful time of love, connection, and as I said, reconnection. Beautiful joy, family time, beautiful reconnection with the family indeed. And when it comes to the couples, you see, this is, oh no, before I say sorry, when it comes to the couple, what else I was going to say to you, this is just so important. It's like when it comes to you and when it comes to your health, you know, just to make sure you really the posture, just make sure your posture is correct, make sure your posture is right, because you need to get this right, because if you don't take care of your posture, the way you sit this week, that may affect you a little bit, because this is such a strong point, such a strong sign I'm having here. Please just just make sure you sit correctly and you sleep in the right way. I know I said this millions of times, but make sure you sleep nice and straight, because your back in general, not even lower back or higher back or upper back or mid back, just your back in general, it is going to be a rather sensitive area. And also when you sleep, try to sleep on a side with a pillow in between your legs, you know, throughout this week, just to protect your back, because this is going to be a really sensitive area for you. Okay, when it comes to the couples, I mean, this is brilliant. This is a fantastic, this is one of the best weeks ever, because there is just so much going to come here. This is going to be brilliant. There are lots of other things that are going to be happening in between you two, that lots of other people are going to benefit from, lots of other people are going to witness, lots of other people are going to witness your happiness, your family union and things like that, and that in itself is going to mean to you so much passion that you feel with each other, you know, and it's absolutely wonderful. Great week indeed. Fertility will be very high. Okay, so now and for those of you that are single, you see that for those of you that are single, this is also going to be the time when you're going to really be spending time with people, spending time with family members, and spending time with the people in your life. But there is someone that is just going to try to come back into your life, like who is like a single, and I would say no. You see, definitely no. Someone that is that used to be the part of your life, like your ex-lover or ex-partner, you know, it's going to come through and forward, and I would say no. Okay, even when that comes true, you're going to feel really good. You're going to feel in a really good mood, because you're going to be dealing with the really good news that you're going to get. And that news that you're going to deal with, it's all about your own gain, advancement, and new stages about to become available in your life. But on another hand, you're going to be in a really good mood. So you need to be really careful, because someone who shouldn't be coming back into your life is going to try to come back. This person is an ex for a reason. Okay, so now the next person that I'm talking about is of course going to be Pisces. Now Pisces, my babies, this is like just so powerful time, because it's all about your own determination. You will want to deal with a certain issue when it comes to the certain person in your life, a certain family member, a certain person in your life that is just caused a bit of a negative situation and bit of a bitter taste in your mouth, not that not that long ago. Somebody that made you feel really bad, and somebody that did something to you that just made you feel like a really negative, and it was just about their reaction, and you just couldn't understand this, and it was a little bit like a selfish, a little bit like emotionless. It was like a little bit like a strange way that they reacted, you know, and that in itself caused a really negative situation in your life, and it just messed you up a little bit. So not messed you up completely, but it's just kind of like confused you a little bit. So there is a personal issue that you will want to kind of sort out this week, but also you would like to try to come to the bottom of something here. There is a family member that means to you so much, that you were worrying about, that it was going through something so difficult lately. My goodness, and for the last couple of years this person had a terrible time, and now the things are going to start unfolding in a really lovely way, and there's a big change that person is going to have, and this is going to mean to you so much. This is so important. This is like a very close family member, but it could be somebody that is very friendly with you too. There is going to be like a situation where you're just going to be unhappy with a certain stage of your life because it didn't unfold the way you wanted it unfolded, and that's to do with like the career choice, and if you're like, for example, if you're retired, this is to do with what you're focusing on right now. You will realize that you are reaching the certain stage, certain point in your life when you thought that you're going to develop in a certain way, but this is just hasn't happened in the way that you would want to happen. But then again, that is just going to make you feel like, oh, wait a minute, what should I do? And that's absolutely brilliant, because your mind is going to be completely fertile. This is the time when you're going to have a very strong connection with the universe and with your spirit guides. And at the time when you feel like, well, low, and at the time when you feel like, oh no, what should I do now? You know, this is going to be at the same time the most powerful time this year. This is going to be at the same time the most sacred time this year for you, because the heavens are going to close for you, and you're going to end up having actually two choices at the same time automatically, and you will realize that you have the most powerful choices in your life, the most significant choices in your life that are going to seem like a tiny, but they're actually huge. By the time goes by, as the time goes by, you're going to more become like determined, and that's in itself is going to bring you really lovely, fantastic creativity and creation. When it comes to the actual diet, you know, my beautiful Pisces, when it comes to the actual diet, you're also going to or health, you see, health. When it comes to the actual health, it is going to be a little bit nervous situation, a little bit anxiety that you're going to be going through, but that's just fine. It is nothing too much. Anxiety, a little bit of nervousness is normal, completely normal feelings when we have to deal with a certain problem. You are going to be dealing with the people that you didn't think that you're going to kind of come across, with the people that you didn't really think that you will kind of deal with. Certain changes, circumstances are going to make you be the part of the little group where I just needed to be careful, I needed to calm down, and if there are like some kind of arguments, please just step up away from the situation. You know, I'm warning you now, try to chill out, try to relax. I know it's easy for me to say, but just try to rise above the situation. What I said before, try to step away from the situation, try to protect yourself. Wear some kind of black tourmaline, black onyx, wear some kind of like a moldavite, you know, because these crystals are going to protect you. Even clear quartz is quite good, and an amethyst is really good to protect you. Just wear one of these crystals throughout this week so you can kind of protect yourself, because certain people are going to have quite low vibration, low energy, and they are going to be around you this week, okay? They're going to be around, so this is why you need to protect yourself. And on another hand, what else I was going to say, when it comes to your health, when it comes to diet, you see, please avoid anything with like too much, anything with the caffeine, you know, as much as you can avoid things with the caffeine, it will be great. Even, I know it's easy for me to say again, you know, people are used to caffeine, you know, it's like it's a thing that people get used to, you know, people get addicted to caffeine without even realizing. But try to maybe have a 1 coffee or 2 coffees instead of like few and things like that. And maybe if you're drinking tea, you know, tea has a caffeine, you know, as well. Try to have try to cut down on these things as well. It's really important, because you will be very, very sensitive when it comes to your anxiety and stress, and so coffee and these things will just make everything worse. So this is why I need you to be a little bit careful. Now, when it comes to those of you that are actually in relationship, your partner is going to be dealing with something like that makes them feel like a kind of unsatisfied when it comes to their own direction, and that unsatisfaction when it comes to their own direction is just going to reflect on them in such a way that it's going to kind of reflect on you, and it's almost as your partner is going to kind of be stroppy with you, but they will not mean it, be a little bit horrible to you, but they will not mean it, and it's just because they will be going through something really difficult, but they will not open up themselves to you. They will not talk to you, so you will not know about this. But then again, because of the certain situations will arise, certain circumstances will arise, and these circumstances are going to make you both react in a certain ways, and this is going to be something that is going to come through. This is going to be something that is going to come forward. So you just need to be a little bit careful, and maybe sit down with your partner and just see what made them feel so unhappy, and just make sure that you open their mind a little bit, make them feel really positive about their life, and just make them realize that, you know, there are ways out of this situation. It's just some certain direction where it's slightly towards a different direction. So that's why I need you to be kind of very optimistic and take care of your partner, because your partner is going to be a little bit sensitive this week, okay? And those of you that are single and ready to mingle, you see, it's just it is all about an inspiration that you're gonna get through. Somebody really powerful is gonna come forward, somebody very educated, somebody very smart, somebody very businessman wise or businesswoman wise, or somebody who's like a very, very religious and spiritual. It's just an amazing combination of all these things that are gonna manifest through somebody who is gonna manifest themselves in your life this week, and that particular person is just somebody who's going to manifest, and this person is going to play an important role, because you're going to have a really important realization and really important idea that is going to come to you through this person. And that important realization and idea that you're going to have, it's also going to reflect on you, on the way you feel, on the way you view the world, on the way you see the world, and on the way you see the people who you like and people who you fancy and people who you feel connected to. This is going to be an amazing starting point for you, Pisces, here, because it's going to be a mind-blowing realization you will have. Oh, my beautiful people, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I cannot stress enough how much I love you and how much you all mean to me, and I wish you the happy Christmas, happy Christmas, happy Christmas, and I also wish you a happy new year. I wish you all the best. Thank you ever so much for sticking with me all this time. I love you so much. Okay, and I'm sending you brightest blessings, love and light. And I hope all your wishes will come true. Okay, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium.